You know, it's really fascinating when you think about Einstein's goal, wanting to read the mind of God.
Hmm. That deep desire for a single explanation for everything.
Exactly. It feels like such a basic human thing, doesn't it? Wanting that complete picture to really get how reality works.
Absolutely. And, well, that's pretty much why we're diving into this today, this huge idea of a theory of everything, a TOE.
It's such a massive ambition.
It really is. The thought that, everything from tiny quantum jitters to the way galaxies cluster,
Yeah.
it might all follow one set of rules.
Right. And for you listening, especially if you've got a background or just a real interest in science, we want to unpack how this idea grew and, frankly, the big hurdles still in the way.
Because, let's be honest, navigating theoretical physics, it can feel, well, pretty daunting.
Totally. So our aim here, using insights from the quest for an integral theory of everything, is to kind of map out this territory a bit more clearly.
And it's not just the science we're looking at.
No, exactly. It's also the philosophy behind it, the cultural side of this whole quest.
Yeah.
We'll look at how the TOE idea evolved, these weird puzzles popping up everywhere,
Across different sciences.
and then explore this idea of a more, let's say, integral view, one that maybe ties together the universe, life, consciousness.
Okay, so let's start basic. What is a theory of everything, really?
Well, the main goal is a single, consistent set of equations, right? Something to explain all physical stuff we see.
Yeah, and Einstein spent years on that, didn't he? His unified field theory. He's trying to link gravity and electromagnetism.
That's right. His approach was all about continuous fields, sort of ripples in space-time.
But the problem was, it didn't really account for the nuclear forces, the strong and weak ones.
Which are crucial at the quantum level, inside atoms. So his field idea, well, it was missing some key pieces from today's perspective.
Precisely. The modern quantum way is, well, it's quite different. It's not about smooth fields.
It's about quanta, right?
Hmm.
Discrete packets of energy.
Exactly. Particles as, like, excitations of quantum fields. And some theories now, they go even further.
You mean like string theory?
Yeah, suggesting fundamental things aren't points, but tiny vibrating strings. Or even bigger things, membranes, in extra dimensions.
More than 3 space dimensions. Whoa.
Right. The idea is maybe you need these extra dimensions, these extra strings, to explain all the different forces and particles we observe, like different notes on a cosmic instrument.
That really bends your mind, doesn't it? That all this variety is just different vibrations in higher dimensions.
And the dream is finding that one super equation, that perfect mathematical expression of cosmic harmony.
Like an IPA for everything.
Maybe. Though the text we're looking at suggests it might be more like a single conceptual scheme. Maybe not one equation, but a coherent way of thinking about it all.
Or framework.
A framework, exactly. Which brings us to something often overlooked, but really important, meaning...
Yes. Because science isn't just math, is it? It's also about us trying to figure out our place, asking those big questions, where did we come from, what's the point?
Exactly. It's that fundamental human need to understand. The source material really highlights this tension. You have scientists focused purely on the equations.
Making predictions, getting the numbers right?
Right. And then others who are asking, okay, but what does this mean? Like that famous story about Stephen Hawking after his book came out. People wanted the meaning behind it all.
And that search for meaning, it's ancient. Goes way back.
It does. From creation myths to, well, string theory. We're always trying to make sense of it. And the text points out even giants like Newton and Einstein had this almost mystical side, this sense of wonder beyond the math.
David Pete's work touches on this too, doesn't it?
It does. He argues that science, at its best, is trying to answer those big questions. What's the universe made of? How did life start? Where do we fit in?
But then you have the counter view.
Right. People like Steven Weinberg, the physicist, Nobel laureate. His view is pretty stark. The universe is just a physical process. No inherent meaning, no purpose.
Cold and impersonal.
That's the word he uses, yeah. He thinks the final laws will be chilling, cold, impersonal, no special place for us.
And the text links this split view back to Western thought itself, these two faces.
Progress versus a fall.
Yeah, like progress through science and reason, improving things, but also this feeling of having lost something, a connection to nature maybe, a separation.
It's a powerful idea. Progress is obvious, the benefits are real. But that fall narrative taps into anxieties about, say, environmental damage or just feeling adrift.
And you see how scientists might lean one way or the other on meaning.
Exactly. Weinberg represents that more detached view. Meaning is just something humans invent. Others, like Pete, think maybe science is actually leading us back to a kind of re-enchantment, finding deeper meaning in the universe.
There's a warning in there too, isn't there, about seeing the world as disenchanted?
Yes, Gregory Bateson's point. If we see nature as mindless, just a machine, do we stop caring for it ethically? It's a relevant concern today.
Bertrand Russell had that really bleak picture too, didn't he? Everything just fading to nothing.
He did. A universe ultimately doomed, all human effort pointless in the long run. But the text argues that view might be, well, outdated, based on old science.
Because new discoveries are painting a different picture.
Potentially, yes. Across cosmology, physics, biology, consciousness studies, there's this emerging idea of an informed universe, where life and mind aren't just accidents, but maybe integral parts.
Integral. That could be the foundation for that TOE we're seeking.
It could be. Which leads us nicely into how science actually changes, paradigm shifts.
Right, the idea that theories aren't forever, they work until they don't.
Exactly. When predictions don't match what we observe, these anomalous observations, that's when things get interesting.
Anomalies aren't failures then, they're fuel.
They're the engine. When everything fits, progress is steady, refining things. But when puzzles pile up that the old theory just can't explain,
That's when you need a bigger change.
you need revolutionary thinking, a whole new way of seeing things. That's where paradigm shifts come from.
And a new paradigm has to do more than just explain the weird new stuff, right?
Absolutely. It has to explain everything the old theory explained too. And ideally, it should be simpler, more powerful, maybe more elegant.
Like relativity replacing Newtonian physics for gravity. A huge shift.
A classic example.
Yeah.
Totally changed our understanding of space and time. And the text suggests maybe we're nearing another shift like that now, with all these puzzles accumulating.
So how does that happen? It's not like everyone just switches overnight.
No, rarely. It's usually turbulent.
Yeah.
Mainstream scientists often defend the old ways, understandably.
Mm.
Meanwhile, you get others, maybe more on the fringes, exploring wilder ideas.
The text calls them fables.
Yeah, imaginative hypotheses, trying to make sense of the anomalies from a new angle. They might seem weird at first.
But they're not just random guesses.
No. They're based on reasoning, trying to connect the dots. And crucially, they have to be testable, at least in principle. You need to be able to check them against reality.
And if a fable actually works better, explains the puzzles more simply, more logically.
And if it starts gathering support, especially for maybe younger researchers,
Yeah.
then yeah, the shift can happen. The fable becomes the new accepted theory.
Like Darwin's common ancestry or cosmic inflation. Those are radical ideas ones.
Exactly. Successful fables. The text also mentions ones that didn't pan out, like Driesch's vital force or Einstein's cosmological constant initially. Though sometimes old ideas get revisited.
Fascinating. And the text gives two big examples of current physics fables, right?
It does. Really gets the mind working. The many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics and the holographic universe idea.
Okay, let's take many worlds first. That comes from quantum weirdness.
Right. Quantum superposition, a particle being in multiple states at once until you measure it, then seems to just pick one state. The wave function collapses. Why?
And Everett's idea is?
His fabulous explanation is that it doesn't pick one. The wave function never collapses. Instead, every possibility happens.
Why or where?
In its own separate parallel universe.
Wow. Okay.
So take an electron spin, could be up or down. Measure it, and according to many worlds, the universe splits. One universe where it's spin up, another completely separate one where it's spin down.
With a version of us in each one seeing that result.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
And think about how many quantum events are happening constantly.
The number of universes would be astronomical, mind-boggling, like 10 to the power of 100.
Something like that, potentially. And the catch is they're totally separate. We can't see or interact with them. Makes it hard to test.
Understatement. Okay, what about the other one, the holographic universe?
Even weirder, maybe? The idea that our 3D universe is fundamentally like a hologram.
Yeah.
A projection from a lower dimensional surface.
Like those images on credit cards, but for everything.
Sort of. The basic idea of a hologram is storing 3D info on a 2D surface using interference patterns. The hypothesis is that all the info making up our 3D reality is encoded on some distant 2D boundary.
Where did that idea even come from?
It started with black holes and thermodynamics.
Yeah.
The puzzle was, what happens to the information when stuff falls into a black hole? It seemed like it was just lost, which violates quantum rules. Information can't just vanish.
Okay.
Then Hawking and Bekenstein found something amazing. A black hole's entropy, its information capacity, isn't proportional to its volume, but its surface area. the area of its event horizon.
The boundary, so the info might be stuck on the surface.
That was the leap Susskind and Hooft made. Maybe the information is stored holographically on the black hole surface.
And then Maldacena found a mathematical link.
Yeah, a powerful connection, a duality, between a theory of gravity in a higher dimensional space and a quantum theory on its boundary. It showed the holographic principle could work mathematically in certain setups.
And that was useful for calculations.
Hugely useful. Problems that were impossible in the gravity theory became solvable in the simpler boundary theory, and vice versa. It fueled the hope that maybe our whole universe works like that.
Our complicated 3D reality, with extra dimensions maybe for string theory, could be a projection from a simpler, lower dimensional boundary.
That was the hope, simplify things. But as the text notes, even Hooft later questioned if holography is the fundamental principle, or just a clue pointing to something even deeper, maybe beyond current physics.
So these fables show the kind of radical thinking needed when the old ways aren't working.
Exactly. And the text argues we're in one of those periods now. So many anomalies piling up.
Not just in physics.
No, across the board. Cosmology, quantum physics, but also biology, especially evolutionary and quantum biology and consciousness studies too.
Giving rise to more fabulous ideas like dark matter, dark energy.
Non-local quantum connections, quantum effects in living things, maybe even connections between minds.
And the text pulls out a common theme in these anomalies: coherence and correlation.
Yes. We understand basic coherence, like in lasers, waves, and sync.
Harmonized processes.
Right. But what's emerging is something much deeper, more complex, kind of quasi-instant tuning between parts of a system.
Whether it's atoms or organisms or even galaxies.
Exactly. Parts acting as one, highly correlated almost instantaneously. A change here affects things over there immediately.
And that unity, that deep coherence, that's maybe the key to the next paradigm, the basis for an integral TOE.
That's the suggestion. It seems to be at the heart of many of these puzzles.
Okay, so let's look at this catalog of puzzles the text lays out, starting with cosmology.
Right, the really big picture. And it's a field in turmoil, finding mysteries that show this staggering coherence across huge distances and times.
Like the flatness problem.
Yeah, why is the universe's geometry so flat on average? Standard Big Bang theory suggests any initial curve should have gotten way bigger. So it implies the start was incredibly fine-tuned.
And the missing mass. Still missing.
Still mostly missing. Galaxies spin faster than they should. Clusters hold together tighter than they should. There's more gravity than visible stuff can explain. Even adding dark matter doesn't fully solve it for some calculations.
Then there's the expansion speeding up, not slowing down.
Right. Accelerated expansion. Driven by what? We call it dark energy, but we don't really know what it is. It's fighting gravity on cosmic scales.
In weirdly precise cosmic ratios.
Ratios between particle masses, forces, strengths. They seem finely balanced, repeating across the universe. Why these specific values?
The horizon problem, too. How are bits of the universe that couldn't have talked to each other yet, so similar in temperature?
Exactly. The background radiation from the Big Bang is incredibly uniform. Regions too far apart to have exchanged light since the beginning somehow. Equilibrated. It suggests some earlier connection or coherence.
And overall, the universe seems fine-tuned for life. Change the constants just a tiny bit.
And poof. No stars, no planets, no us. It looks suspiciously, well, tailor-made. Why?
The standard Big Bang model explains a lot, but not these deep coherence puzzles.
Not fundamentally, no, which pushes people towards more exotic ideas, like the metaverse.
Our universe being just one bubble in a bigger cosmic ocean.
Something like that. Maybe our universe inherited its properties, its fine-tuning, from whatever it budded off from in this larger metaverse, like cosmic genetics.
And finding galaxies everywhere, even in supposedly empty regions, hints the universe might be vaster than we thought.
It does suggest more structure out there. And this metaverse idea, speculative as it is, offers a potential way to explain coherence, maybe traces from prior universes.
Which leads back to that really big idea, this cosmic Akashic Field.
Yeah, the text floats this as a speculative concept. Could there be some underlying field connecting everything, holding the information, enabling this coherence? Again, it's not mainstream science, but it's the kind of question these puzzles raise.
Okay, let's shift from the huge to the tiny. Quantum physics puzzles.
The quantum world. Still deeply weird, non-local, wave-particle duality entanglement.
Particles being here and there at once. Non-locality.
Yep. Existing is a cloud of possibilities until you look. Measure one thing, and you blur something else. The uncertainty principle.
And entanglement particles linked instantly across space.
That's the big one. Spooky action at a distance, as Einstein called it. Once linked, measuring one instantly affects the other, no matter how far apart. Defies classical intuition about locality and speed limits.
Totally different from the clockwork Newtonian world.
Completely. Early 20th century physics just blew up the idea of solid, predictable matter. The very concept of matter got fuzzy.
The EPR paradox highlighted that enduring connection.
It did, and experiments now show it. Quantum teleportation, transferring a state instantly between entangled particles.
So particles are fundamentally sociable, connected.
It seems so. Entangled across space, maybe even time. Which again makes you wonder, is there some field recording in conveying these states? The Akashic Field idea popping up again.
Okay, from the quantum and cosmic extremes to biology, life, surely things get more normal here.
You'd think so, but nope. Living things, the text argues, are another source of profound puzzles, especially around coherence.
Entanglement at the scale of organisms.
Maybe not literal quantum entanglement always, but definitely surprising levels of instant, system-wide correlation inside organisms and between organisms and their environment.
The supercoherent organism.
That's the term used. Living things seem to maintain this incredible dynamic coherence, all parts working together, near instantly responding. It's essential for life.
And coherence with the environment, too, for evolution.
Crucial. Organisms aren't isolated, they're constantly interacting, adapting. The sheer fit between organisms and their niches suggests deep coherence.
And this goes beyond simple chemistry, suggests quantum-type processes.
That's the argument. The speed and precision of coordination needed to keep something as complex as, say, a human body running. Trillions of cells, constant turnover, countless reactions. It's hard to explain with just slow local chemical signals.
It requires something faster, more holistic.
Potentially, like organisms being sensitive to really weak magnetic fields or low-frequency EM radiation. That hints at collective, coherent effects, not just individual molecule responses.
What about genetics? The idea that genes are totally separate from the body's experience.
That's being challenged too. The classical idea is the germline, sperm eggs, is isolated. But evidence is mounting that environment and experience can sometimes influence heredity more directly than thought.
Like adaptive mutations. Organisms changing their genes in response to stress.
Exactly. Experiments show mechanical forces, toxins, radiation can induce specific, sometimes beneficial mutations faster than random chance would predict.
And those examples, rats developing diabetes in offspring after parental drug exposure.
Or bacteria fixing their own broken genes when they need that function back. It suggests the genome isn't entirely walled off.
So Bischoff's quote about the inseparable whole, interconnectedness within the organism and with its environment.
It captures this emerging view, which again leads to the question, what coordinates all this? A biofield, or that underlying Akashic field again.
Okay, last category. Consciousness. Our own minds. Seemingly private, right?
Intimately known, feels unique to each of us, but maybe not entirely separate.
You mean connections between minds?
That's what the research is exploring, echoing things known in traditional cultures, the connectedness of the human mind.
Evidence like shared myths across cultures that never met.
That's one line. Also, lab studies showing apparent transference of images or feelings, especially between emotionally close people, universal symbols, archetypes popping up everywhere.
And even mind affecting another's body, telesomatic effects.
That's more controversial, but it's being studied. Non-local healing, things like that. It ties into Einstein's idea of separateness being an optical delusion.
We think we're separate, but maybe we're not.
Maybe there are connections beyond our senses. Science is often resistant to this, but some phenomena are hard to dismiss.
Like twin pain.
A well-documented example. One twin feels the other's distress, even far apart. No normal communication. Physiological responses measured in labs.
And telepathy-like stuff between mothers and kids, close friends.
Anecdotally common. Lab studies using things like the Ganzfeld setup or DeMille's protocols show small but statistically significant effects, suggesting thought-to-image transfer is possible, maybe widespread at a low level.
What about mind affecting body at a distance? Telesomatic effects.
Yeah, historically called sympathetic magic. Think voodoo dolls, maybe. But positive versions too, spiritual healing, prayer.
Dossie's era third non-local medicine.
Exactly. And studies like Bird's prayer experiment on cardiac patients showed significant positive effects for the prayed-for group. It's debated, of course, but it's empirical data.
So mind-based practices seem to show some kind of information or energy transfer that science can't yet explain.
Right, which inevitably circles back. Could our consciousnesses also be linked through this proposed Akashic field, just like cosmology, quantum physics, and biology seem to hint at?
Wow. Okay, so wrapping this up. We've journeyed through this huge quest for a theory of everything.
hmm And seeing how it's hitting these fascinating roadblocks, these puzzles, everywhere we look, across all scales.
But the recurring theme, the thread pulling through all these puzzles,
Yeah.
seems to be interconnectedness, coherence.
Profound interconnectedness, yeah. Things being linked and coordinated in ways
Yeah.
we didn't expect and can't fully explain yet.
Which really points towards needing new wave thinking, doesn't it? A new paradigm, more holistic, more integral.
One that can maybe embrace the universe, life, and mind as part of one coherent picture.
So the final thought to leave you, the listener, with, do all these persistent anomalies, this constant drumbeat of interconnectedness across cosmology, quantum physics, biology, consciousness, does it all hint that there's something deeper going on?
Deeper reality.
Yeah, maybe something like this Akashic Field idea, something fundamental that our current science just hasn't grasped yet. It definitely gives you something to think about, doesn't it?